number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Christiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, and we're coming to you virtually today. It's my first virtual show, and we have a really special guest, Tracy Mitchell, the Executive Director of Bay Street Theater in Sag Harbor. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be guest number one in the virtual world for you.
Well, it's a really challenging time, and you've been dealing with some unbelievable issues, it sounds like, with everything that's been going on. But besides that, you've also been putting together a virtual gala, which is going to happen this year. And it's so exciting when we get stretched like this to find out other ways to do the things that we normally did in other times. This is the new normal. How do we deal with it? So tell us about this virtual gala you're putting together.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting for me as executive director of Bay Street. Obviously, it's the first virtual gala we've ever done, just like the rest of the world. So we've been watching, all the different variations on a theme that, people can watch now on Zoom. And I've seen some pretty horrible ones, and I've seen some really funny, talented professional ones done. So, but for me personally,
let's tell them it's July 22nd too, by the way, in case they don't, because we haven't put that out there. It's going to be July 22nd, 7 o'clock and
7:30 Eastern Standard Time for the pre-show. We're going to have a sort of a red carpet pre-show, if you will, and then the actual event starts at 8. So people can log on at 7:30, get to make sure they're up and running, So we're going to have some virtual drinks being made. Vinny, your favorite bartender from the American Hotel, for those that are local watching, we'll be making up a couple of cocktails. We'll have some video and red carpet from past year's galas. Bay Street will be turning 30 next year, so we have quite a lot. We have Bay Street by the decade, if you will, of photos that we'll be showing, and video from past productions, and that's only in the pre-show. So we're really excited. The actual show itself came about from a number of discussions with the entire staff. What were things that we wanted to get across, and what did we want people to celebrate? Because really, people at this moment in time, Patrick, I think it was you that said, for a lot of people, theater is their version of church. Theater and the performing arts and the arts in general are what lift our spirits. So the gala is just an extension of that. Mm-hmm. And a way of doing it way beyond our local doors and way beyond the normal 400 to 500 people that we could fit at a gala, right? Because now it can go virtually around the world. So, and we hope it does.
Yes, so me too.
Yeah. So it started with a lot of conversation, a lot of who are we? What are we doing? We have, a mission to educate, entertain, and inspire our community, as well as serving as a home for artists. So we wanted to make sure that all of that was a part of this hour. And of course, we'll be asking for donations, which, that's the point of a gala, as well as making sure that people understand who you are, who you're supporting, how you're helping your own community. And we've been doing all of that, even in these tough times.
You've been reaching out to the community already. It sounds like you've had a lot of extraordinary things going on at the theater yourself. I mean, with having a staff member.
Yes, I mean, we started COVID in mid-March, like everyone else, and we started with sort of, we had barely heard about it by, I guess it was around March 10th, things started really picking up. And so we had a program that weekend that then got canceled. That was sort of the start, because that's when the government said they'd be shutting, potentially shutting down. And we were also, we up in the air like everybody else. And at that time, one of our employees began having some of the symptoms that they started talking about. And
Wow.
so, yeah, we were so fortunate, God bless, that
Yes.
he came okay. And so all of that went all right. But once that started, we immediately shut things down. And that was it. We thought we'd be stepping away for a couple weeks like the rest of the world did. And little did we know, here we are, how many months later? So this was the first week actually that I've come back into what is my office at Bay Street.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah, it feels really good, although simultaneously it feels very empty as I walk around the theater. And I guess I've said it before, theater is a place to gather, and and to experience something that only happens once in that moment, and is such a feeling of community. And it's the one thing that the virtual doesn't,
Yes, I know. That's why I didn't want to do any shows initially. I get it.
I mean, you know me, I'm a hugger.
Yes, I'm missing my hugs.
So,
Can I hug you virtually?
Yes, please do.
Yes, they're very healing.
Yeah.
But tell us about the guests. You have some really cool guests that you're already starting to shoot on the gala.
Yeah.
So
we immediately went to, all of our friends and artists right now who we've been trying to keep them employed with small other virtual programs that I can tell you about later. But we've really been trying to support artists. And so we put out the call and said, hey, and they were all so gracious, especially now because they're all just, at home, unfortunately. And so we called Richard Kind, of course, who's on our board. Always comes through in a pinch. And in the past, he's been our auctioneer. This year, he's actually our host. And what that means is he's basically leading us through the hour of our gala. And he's, as most people know, he's such a comedic guy.
Yes.
Acting, when you put his acting chops together with his comedy, it's just a laugh out loud riot. So it starts with Richard leading us off, and we're celebrating and paying tribute to the musicals of the 1970s. So it's based on, if you will, the 70s telethons. Remember those?
Oh, yes.
So when is this going to air, Patrick? Because I don't know if I want to give away all the secrets before it comes out, but it is a celebration of 1970s musicals. So we have a lot of incredible guests that are coming. I'll give you a few.
Okay.
We have, of course, Betty Buckley.
We love Betty, of course.
Favorite. We have Ben Vereen.
Oh my God.
And if you think about what major show would Ben have sung in, and you might remember him singing one of the lead songs from this show, and have something magic. So if you can believe it, we have Ben Vereen performing Magic to Do.
Wow.
I mean, right? You can't make it up.
Yes. And you're already beginning to film this stuff and put it together, right? It's
absolutely.
Happening.
We have a whole host of people that are joining us, singing probably about 6 or 7 numbers, some of the biggest numbers from Broadway in those years, in the 70s. And we also have a couple of special guests that aren't necessarily singing, but they're joining us. We have Bob Balaban and Isaac.
Oh my God, I love Bob.
And Isaac Mizrahi and Jackie Hoffman, and I mean, you name it, it's a who's who. So we're also paying, honoring and tribute to the East End Special Players, who are their own nonprofit, but whom we're taking under our wings at Bay Street. They are incredible performers with varying abilities. And so we have them come to Bay Street to perform. They work very hard on scripts that they write themselves.
Wow.
And they rehearse right throughout the entire year. And then we've had them to Bay Street to perform those. And before COVID hit, we had talked to them about honoring them at our gala this year. So even though it's not live, we're paying tribute to these incredible adult actors, the East End Special Players. And when we're open again, we intend to have them back on stage, as well as interacting with our other actors that come out from the city and perform here. So we're very excited. Yeah, thrilled.
Yes. Well, they're well deserving. It's really, really sweet too. But do you want to show them this little clip we have of the things that you're putting together? It's a teaser for the gala. Are you ready to do that now?
Yes, absolutely. Give them a little taste.
Join me as I host Bay Street's virtual gala telethon. And because it's virtual, I'm just going to be wearing what I wore last Wednesday.
Bay Street Theater presents a virtual Starry Night Gala Telethon with performances by Broadway stars, celebrity appearances, and more. A virtual Starry Night Gala Telethon, Wednesday, July 22nd, pre-show 7:30, showtime 8 p.m. Details and free registration at baystreet.org.
I have some footage of the way we used to do it. Take a look from 2019. Take a look at this.
The number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I love this. I just love this. You cabaret. Oh, cabaret. Thank you so much.
And 10% of the funds from your gala are going to Bon Jovi Soul Kitchen. Is that right?
Yes. So we've decided, again, remembering how hard a lot of people have it right now. We don't mean to be flip or coy, for sure. So we thought about our neighbors and all of the thousands of people that are going food insecure right now. So that are food insecure. So we made contact with the John Bon Jovi Soul Food Kitchen. And it's a food bank located right in Wainscott, and they're literally feeding thousands of our neighbors. So we don't see this improving for quite some time. So we are going to donate 10% of our proceeds from our gala that evening, July 22nd at 7:30 p.m. We're going to be donating that night 10% of everything we make to the John Bon Jovi Soul Food Kitchen.
That's cool. It's a wonderful cause that they do, and it is going to go on for a while, I think, too. Yes.
I'm afraid it is, and that's all. I mean, I think that with this, we're truly feeding body and soul, literally. I think that's, at this time, the best we can hope to do.
It's wonderful. It sounds terrific. It really sounds wonderful. But you've been really busy in the background before you got starting doing this gala. When you had someone sick at the theater, you had to clean everything afterwards. You tell us how.
Yeah, I mean, I actually wrote down just some of the things from COVID when COVID first started. And yes, we mentioned our employee, but just it ended up all these things that the world needed. We had some of them. So,
Wow.
for example, all PPP,
Hmm.
uh, all of a sudden I realized, well, we have N95 masks because we have a shop. So we gathered all of those. And then I realized, well, we have, boxes of rubber gloves. I gathered all of those, or I should say my staff gathered them, put them in a pile, and I carted them off to Southampton Hospital. So we kind of started with that. And the reason I wrote it all down is because I know this is a time we're not going to remember all the details, hopefully, when this is over in a short while. So I wrote them down. We also had an employee whose wife is an ER doctor in New York at a New York hospital. I'm not going to name it because I was so infuriated when I heard this. Our employee told us that she was still buying, even a month ago, her own masks for her ER room nurses. Can you imagine?
Yes, I've heard. I find it inconceivable, even though it's true.
So we actually went ahead and bought 5,000 masks, ordered them, got them done and in. And once we had them in-house, we sent about 10% of them directly to our employee and employee's wife. I mean, because at this point, you kind of have to take care of your own and make sure, the people we know around us are healthy and safe. So we did that. What else? And then we were up and running within 2 weeks of having online programming.
Oh, because I get all the emails. I've been so impressed with the way you have put together things for the students, for the adults. You have so many online classes. Tell us about. I mean, it boggles the mind how you could do all this.
The very first thing came to mind was because for me, anytime I feel like I'm up against the wall or really having a rough time, I know I have to sing.
Oh.
And so the first thing I thought of is, okay, we can sing online. How can we do that? Grab a cocktail and we're going to sing. And so that was the initial thought of sip and sing. So Friday afternoon.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. It was like someone showed me Zoom, and the next thing we had sip and sings, and we had a real artist, not me, just singing, and singing for a group of people. And the very first week, we got over 400 people. I think they'd all just learned how to use Zoom. But now we're, every Friday we get about 150 people singing, and literally, I've had so many people say, "Oh my God, Friday afternoons are the highlight of my week." And you
so
see,
what time is this? And what time is it? What time?
5 o'clock on Fridays, and
So how does someone join? They just go to Bay Street. What do they?
.org. If they're not already on our email list, they can enter their email list, or they can click on Sip and Sing on our specifically. If they don't want to get emails for everything else, they can just get them for Sip and Sing. Click on, give us your email, and we send you an email and it says register here. You fill out your name, you put your name in, and hit, and that's it. And you'll get
I'm joining. I'm doing this tomorrow. I missed that one. I slipped through my radar somehow. I'm going to Sip and Sing tomorrow. Absolutely, it sounds terrific. I invite everyone. Come sip and sing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And so did this kind of morph into all the other programs that you started? Was this what?
Yeah. So we basically started with what are we already doing that can be converted. So we knew we'd be doing classes. We just didn't know how many people would be interested in online classes and whether we could do them for adults and for kids, and were we all going to be savvy enough to do it? And sure enough, we all know, of course, the kids are savvy. But we basically said, all right, let's get them up and running. So we started with some for kids, some for adults. We added playwriting with Wade Dooley, who's a playwright who did one of our shows last year, The Prompter. And he did a playwriting class, and he had 18 adult students doing playwriting online. We had acting, we have tap dancing happening now.
Well, how do you do tap dancing online?
I don't know. Tap dance. I'm not in that class, but I'd be curious. So those are some of the online things we're doing. And then now that it's actually summer and you're allowed to gather 8 people, 8 young people and 2 adults. So we're doing open outdoor camps with only 8 kids and 2 adults. And we're just doing that on a lawn. And so people could stay, we're going to mark it out for the kids. They have to stay in their own circles, with proper signage and masks and gloves and all that good stuff. Everything that we know right now that it takes to keep people safe. And as far as we know right now, it's either outdoors or online.
No, if people aren't part of your subscribers or know things, where can they, baystreet.org, they can find out all this information about all the opportunities that you have online for them to participate in and all these things? So baystreet.org, they can find everything.
Yep. And the best thing to do is to get on our email list. We try and keep our emails down to once a week, and we never sell our lists, so people don't have to be worried about that.
And you hear that, everybody? No, they don't sell their list. I'm underlining that.
Not 100 other places.
It's only for the Bay Street Theater Church.
Yeah.
My God, then you do. I had Bonnie Conley and Stuart Lane are doing something too with Broadway HD. What's that's happening with them?
Oh, so Broadway HD, God bless them, Bonnie and
aren't they
Stuart,
wonderful? Yes.
They're incredible people. They're Broadway producers, as well as they have a program called Broadway HD, and you can go on and sign up. We'll have to see if we have another special going on, because as Bay Street people, there was a special. We'll check back into that on Broadway HD, but you can go on and they have all of the greatest musicals that they've shot in HD. It's not just an archival copy for those.
They use so many cameras. It's incredible what they do, and you get angles that you could never get in the theater, and close-ups. It's phenomenal, their work. It's absolutely very special. Yeah.
So they shoot all these things that you would have seen on Broadway, and they shoot them with all these cameras, right, Patrick? And there's people in the general public can get from online. And it's a very small fee. There's a monthly fee if you want to do it that way. And it's great because you can watch everything they have. And they are such patrons of Bay Street Theater. So we're very.
We love Bonnie and Stuart. Yes, very much. And so are there other things that you're anticipating happening as we move through all this?
Well, for now, I'm not sure how soon things will change. So right now we're moving through with the things that we have planned, our outdoor camps, our virtual camps. We are keeping some virtual ones online for people that can't travel, don't want to be with other people, still feel very unsafe around others. So we're trying to give something for everybody. There are some people that just are dying to bust out of their homes and be in the en plein air, so.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, you know the feeling, right?
Yes.
So right now we're trying to keep that, but we do have another new online program that's starting with Marsha Milgram Dodge.
Oh, yes. I almost forgot. This sounds really exciting.
New program that she came up with called Backstage with Marsha Milgram Dodge. And
to people who don't know who she is, she's a really outstanding director who's done many projects at Bay Street in the past few years, and on Broadway, she's a world-class artist.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
she's going to do interviews, online interview with Julie Andrews.
She's doing that with Julie Andrews and her daughter, which some people may know, Emma Walton Hamilton, as the prior me. She and her husband were the executive directors and artistic directors at Bay Street Theater. They're two of the three co-founders.
I remember them.
Yes, and I remember dear Sybil too.
Oh, I love Sybil.
Yeah, we all
miss her
love
dear. She's missed.
Yes, she truly is. But going back to Marsha's program, she put together 8 wonderful Mondays starting July, I believe it is the 13th, if that's a Monday. And yes, there'll be different stars in each
And I
of
love
the
the
8
name.
weeks.
It's called Bay Street to Go.
Yes, Bay Street to Go. It refers to all of our virtual
all of it.
programs.
I'm sorry.
So no. So whenever you see that, you know it's a virtual program. Bay Street to Go. But yes, so she's got Randy Graff and Q Smith, who people have seen Q here as well as Peter Scolari, who was in A Funny Thing Happened on the way to the Forum. She's just got unbelievable people. Robbie Sella is also in this. James Alexander, Jim Weaver. It's Ewan Morton. I mean, it's a who's who of Broadway. So she's got different people each week. And
this is on Mondays, right? Every Monday.
Every Monday, there's 8 of them in a row, 7 to 8 p.m. On Zoom. It'll be really simple. And you can sign up for them now, again, at baystreet.org. And hopefully you'll sign up for all 8. It's a great package for $100. So worth doing, and it's an investment in your theater, of course, as well as the artists.
And we have a little teaser with Marsha talking about it. It's about a minute. Can we show them that, Danielle?
Hi, I'm Marsha Milgram Dodge, and I want to give you a little teaser about Backstage with MMD Bay Street Theater. I've invited a bunch of my friends from Broadway and television and Hollywood to come and share backstage stories with me on 8 Mondays in July and August for Bay Street Theater. So you're going to hear about a love story that took place offstage during the West End Horror. You're going to see how the joint was jumping on Main Street in Sag Harbor. And you're going to hear all about how this beautiful musical was written by a mother and daughter. So don't miss it. Get your tickets now. See ya at Bay Street Theater.
So Bay Street, I love Bay Street to Go. It's going to be my new thing. Definitely. Tracy, thank you so much for coming today to let the community know what's happening with Bay Street, how you're getting through the COVID, and what your plans are for the future and what's coming up. It all sounds very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate it. And I think as just a final thought, I would say that, I believe that everything has its allotted time span, its natural life cycle, if you will. And so I'm trying desperately not to hang on to something that it's on its way out, because, we can't control what we can't control. And so we're doing our best to stay focused, to stay mindful, stay healthy, and do everything we can to help each other get through this time. And we will all get through it if we do that together. So thank you, Patrick. Thank you for this opportunity, and be well yourself, and Barry too.
It's my pleasure. One day at a time, stay calm and carry on.
Yes.
God bless.
Exactly.